Obviously, big game this week when you kick off conference play is critical for us, and always get that first conference game. A lot of time will dictate how the U.S. conference season goes. Not always, but a lot, and so it's a big game for us. Obviously, playing a team, the new coaching staff. You know, they had got the big advantage of actually opening up on a Thursday night, which I know is a huge advantage for a lot of teams. So they had a little extra time to prepare for us, a little extra time to get healthy, get well after the training camp in their first game. So that'll be a challenge, especially, you know, new staff. They get a whole new staff in. So, you know, you're looking at, you really got one game on these guys as a staff and what they're doing. But they got a good football team, good, excellent. You know, they're playing the two quarterback system with the young freshman kid that's a really dynamic player that can run, can hurt you different ways, and the older kid that can really come in, threw the ball, lit it up. They got some explosive wide receivers, an excellent tailback. Defensive side of the ball, got some experience, got some guys up front that can rush the passer and be physical at the point of attack, and then some veteran linebackers there on the next level. So it'll be a big challenge for our guys, and we've got to be ready to go play at a very high level come Saturday.
Questions?
You mentioned the new staff. Muschamp has that identity, the defensive identity. He's done it at several different schools in the SEC. What kind of challenge is that group going to bring to your young quarterbacks?
Well, I mean, obviously, one is not having a lot of film on them with this team that they have right now. So, you know, you got limited film on what they do, and being a defensive coach, Will's always done a great job. Guys play hard, play with a lot of energy. Very, very sound in what they do, and you know, we expect them to come after us. I mean, I think they you know, he was being at Auburn last year, came after us a lot when he was there. So, you know, we expect them to probably bring a lot of pressure.
How have you seen the team bounce back from the game on Saturday when you had your first practice?
Yeah, we had a good practice yesterday, good physical practice. Guys worked hard, got after it, you know, and went back to work.
When you look at the film, how would you use the quarterbacks differently, if at all, after you saw kind of how the game played out?
I don't know if I'd use them any different.
Okay.
What do you want to see from your team Saturday?
A team goes out and plays hard, plays with relentless effort, passion for the game. Same thing I want to see every single Saturday from our guys, you know. I want to see 11 guys on the field going as hard as they can every single snap, and was supported with all the guys on the sidelines waiting for their opportunity to get out there on the field.
Coach, offensive line appeared to take a step forward this past weekend, good rushing totals. What did you see on film from that group?
Yeah, I thought overall, a couple of issues that we had were critical errors. That was the problem with the offensive line to me in this game. I thought overall we played well. If you look at throughout most of the game, solid performance, and then several critical errors at key moments of the game. Not just on the offensive line, several different positions where, you know, if you look at grades, guys actually graded pretty well, did a good job, and then there'd be, I mean, a glaring critical error at a key moment of the game.
Leo Lewis had a pretty big game. Can you kind of assess what you saw from him on film and just kind of a confidence builder for him moving forward?
Yeah, he's learning how to play. Made some plays. It was good to see him get in game action to go do that. You know, I mean, again, as a young player, he's got to learn the standard of play, of how to play hard and on every single snap. But it was good to see him out there and make plays in a live game situation.
Is anything settled with the quarterback competition, or is that something Nick Tiano could still be involved in this week?
Well, I mean, everywhere. I mean, every position on our team, everybody competes every single week for. So, you know, I mean, we'll see how everybody does in practice this week.
Coach, before the season, you talked about Brandon and Shump and the areas kind of separating themselves. What did you kind of see from the run game, and did you kind of foresee getting more guys involved there?
Well, I mean, you know, a lot's going to depend on it, to dictate how the game's going. We didn't get many snaps on Saturday, so I think each guy got some carries, got some work out of the backfield. You know, got different touches. You know, there's only one ball, so. You know, we want to, and there's a lot of people we'd like to get it into their hands, so we keep working as hard as we can to get as many people touches as we can.
did you come out after last week somewhat healthy? I know Desper went down late in the game and things. Anybody last week that?
No, the exercise you give that. No, we expect everybody. There'd be nobody missing any time after last week's game.
How do you plan on using Jamal Peters and Maurice Smitherman this week?
Same way we did last week.
Do you
They
expect
get
them to be seen in the secondary too, or?
if they have a good week of practice.
Coach AJ had a good game on the defensive line for you. What kind of leader is he and coming to this point?
Well, he's a team captain for us, and he's worked hard. And really, what our program's about, you expect that. He's a fifth-year senior. You expect that out of guys, to come in and perform their senior year, perform their best, and he's responsible now to go set that standard. Similar to, whether it's been Ryan Brown or Preston Smith or Josh Boyd or Fletcher Cox or Pernell McPhee, all before him, all those different guys on the defensive line. He's expected as the veteran guy in that unit to go set that standard extremely high and make sure all the young players live up to it. You can't just do it. You got to do it in every aspect. It's got to be done in practice. But he's probably our most productive defensive lineman in practice as well. He makes the most plays in practice. And for the young guys to see, hey, if I work that hard, practice will translate to a game just like you saw on Saturday.
Coach, Logan Cook appeared to have a good day for you on Saturday. How would you assess his performance?
Logan did okay. Solid, we got the one punt tipped, and that was all on him on get-off time, and I think just getting himself back into the speed and his operation time speed. But I think he's a guy that we have a lot of confidence. He's played. One of the great things, he got his first game action. He found out he was playing about 3 minutes before he had to go kick the ball off in a big game. So really from that point on, I think he's very comfortable game transition. And so I don't think, some of the nerves and stuff that come sometimes with younger guys, he's become kind of an older guy now, but only just starting his third season here on campus. He's a guy that plays with confidence when it comes to game time.
You mentioned the veteran South Carolina quarterback, Perry Orth. What have you kind of seen from him on film?
Well, he's a guy that understands. You can see as a veteran player, if it's a first year in the system, he understands what they're trying to do, throws the ball well, and a very willing runner. And by that I mean, he's not going to be dynamic as number 11 with the ball in his hands, but for me, I as a quarterback, I like guys that are willing runners. Like a Dak Prescott was a willing runner, maybe not a dynamic runner, but somebody that's, is going to go run and get tough yards and do what you need to do within the system. So I think he has experience, understands their system, what they're trying to do, and can really execute their offense.
I know you had a lot of young players in the secondary, but what did you see from when you got a chance to watch the film on their performance?
They're okay. They're improving. A lot of guys are in new roles. Probably there's a bunch of guys in roles they weren't even expecting to be in this season, or that we weren't expecting to be in even during or coming out of training camp. So I thought they adjusted well to it, and we need to see continual improvement out of those guys on the back end of taking steps forward.
When you watched the film, did you see the issues in the safeties or the corners in that secondary?
Well, there's little issues everywhere. They got to get fixed, and not, you look at it. I think for us, we gave up, defensively, you had 3 3-and-outs. We created 12 negative yardage plays, and then a bunch of 0 yardage gain plays. So over a third of their plays were 0 or negative yards. The issue is we gave up 12 explosive plays. So it gets the consistency of performance. Not, can we do it? We can do it because we showed we could do it. We got to do it every single snap of the game and be a consistent performer.
Talking about the consistency, was there anything that you could pinpoint that you didn't have the same consistency in the second half as the first? Anything Anything that you could tell was going wrong?
Yeah, I think a little bit of our effort and execution really dropped in the second half, and the mental and physical toughness aspect of it is where it came from, which is something we always take a lot of pride in doing here, is being a very mentally and physically tough team. And you see most of our negative breakdown plays, whether it is guys straining to the ball, whether it's a major mental error or a critical error that happened in a major mistake, and you go break them down, and they happen in games. There were very minimal, very few of those plays in the first half, and there were a much larger number of them in the second half.
The guys that weren't available last week, Jeffrey, Nick, Malik, are those things solved, or is that still up in the air for their availability?
We'll
this
let
week?
everybody know Saturday whether or not, if there's any issues with any suspensions. We'll let everybody know Saturday.
What did Jamal Couch do prior to the game to see it action as a true freshman?
Well, one, he showed up on campus. I think he was helped by early departures of some other people, so there was an opportunity there to be filled for him to go play. And two, I think his physical size. He worked hard. You could tell he's a guy that worked in the summer to know what to do, which is one of the bigger challenges a lot of times for freshmen to get on the field. Is not just their physical abilities, which he has some size and physical ability. But how fast mentally you can pick things up. And I think he picked some things up, did a good job picking things up mentally, putting himself in a position. And there was obviously an opportunity because of the depth at our wide receiver position to get on the field and go play.
When you looked at the yards per attempt, I think it was 4.6 as a team. How much does that concern you, or was it something else that was when you looked at the film?
For them?
For you, I think.
Oh, as our low yards per attempt passing ball?
It was 4.6.
Yeah, again, we take the one thing is we're going to take what teams give us. If you go what I did see with the film is them playing way off down the field. So. You're not going to, it's not going to make any sense if they're standing way deep to just sit there and throw the ball to one of their guys. So I was pleased we didn't turn the ball over.
How concerned are you that, again, no turnovers from that defense? It was a kind of an issue last year, too.
Well, it's, that's, give credit to them. That's their execution. They executed well and they protected the ball, took care of the ball. Quarterback took care of the ball. Turnovers, you got to create turnovers, but also the other team's got to give it up too. And to be honest with you, pretty clean game to me from both sides with not massive amounts of penalties. Obviously, we had several critical penalties at key moments of the game, which you can't do, and they were mental penalties. But no turnovers. I think both teams executed well for a first game.
Is it as simple as just, if this team practices well, they're going to play well Saturday?
If we practice, we have a chance. I don't know if that's not a guarantee. I can guarantee you if you don't practice well, you won't play well. But I can guarantee that. If you practice really well, then you've got to translate it over to the game. But you have the opportunity to do that, but you certainly don't have an opportunity the other way.
One more, Mike.
Did you see any potential big plays? Did you see any missed opportunities, I guess is the right way to say it?
No, I saw, several. Yeah, there were a couple
Yeah.
that, they resulted with critical errors. Whether it was we hurt ourselves with a penalty that erased a couple of big plays, or we missed a block or missed a protection. That way, that resulted that would have probably given us some more big plays. I don't know if it would have been deep down the field throws because they were playing so deep, but opportunities underneath to make some bigger things happen and have a couple more explosive plays. We had 8 explosive plays, which is the minimum, to me, that you want to, your goal is that you got to have at least 8 explosives. We had 8, and you'd like to have a lot more.
How do you go about increasing that number?
You got to execute. I mean, if teams are going to, kind of play soft and off, you're going to see your average per play. My God, but to me, it is sometimes also how teams play you. What you want to do is the efficiency of plays. You have explosive plays and you have efficiency of plays. If teams are going to play soft, you want to be more efficient. We had a lot more efficient plays, less explosives, more efficient plays. So they kind of, it depends how they're going to play you, of which number is going to be higher. But you have a big time game if both numbers are very, very high. But at least one of them has to be high to move the ball.
Good.